Tonight, teachers vote to accept an offer by the government negotiating team.
Yes, the members have agreed to accept.
The CSA remains resolute about wanting meaningful benefits for its members as negotiations continue. And the people speak on the Prime Minister's mocking of opposition leader Philip J. Pierre. The details of these stories and more are coming up.
This is the Hot 7 Nightly News with Lovelace and Amy Joseph.
Good night. It is Friday, the 14th of June, 2019. Welcome to the Hot 7 Nightly News. We're on Flow Channel 117, also being simulcast on Kiss FM 105.5 and 105.9. You can also watch on our website, www.caribbeanhottv.com, or on our free Caribbean Hot FM mobile app. I'm Lovely St. Amy Joseph. Thank you for joining us. Teachers have made the decision to accept an offer by the government negotiating team to bring salary negotiations to an end. The president of the SLTU says members did not have to be coerced by any means to accept the offer of the GNT. All schools on island were closed on Friday as the membership of the St. Lucia Teachers Union met to discuss the proposal by the government negotiating team. The union had lamented the protracted negotiations and was eager to bring all matters to a close to the satisfaction of its members. Well, they have achieved their goal. The negotiations can now enter final stages as the teachers have agreed to accept the offer on the table from the GNT.
We have made an 8% proposal to the government for a salary increase. The government responded with, for the first triennium, offering 011 with a $1,800 bonus and also back pay for the period 2018 to 2019. They also made a proposal of 2% increase for the current period 2019 to 2022, and so the members decided on that.
The president said there was no need for convincing on his part. The decision, he says, was made freely and willingly by the membership of the SLTU.
No, I didn't have to encourage them. I presented to them and they made the decision.
Monrose also reported to his members about the negotiations regarding fringe benefits. He says many of these areas have been concluded satisfactorily as well. Touching base with their membership ahead of a meeting with the government negotiating team, the Civil Service Association, CSA, remains adamant on their proposal demands. Refusing to accept the same terms already agreed upon by the Police Welfare Association and the Nurses Association, CSA reps say the upward economic benefits outlined in the budget need to trickle down to the people who are truly deserving of it. Solange Alfred reports.
The industrial relations climate on island has reached a boiling point, with union after union attempting to bring resolve to their members. The Civil Service Association General Secretary Claude Paul says, taking its cue from its members, a meeting will be held on Friday, 14th June.
The last position we left our members was we wanted 8% from government, and of course the government negotiating team would have offered the same thing that the nurses and the police got. And so we come back to our members this afternoon for guidance.
So I'm saying that the precedent has been set with the accepting of the lump sum by both the police and the nurses, and that's really going to set the pace for what other unions are going to be getting. Do you think that's true?
No, because CSA's position was that we were not accepting that. So we have always been clear in that position that notwithstanding the police and the nurses may have settled for that agreement, this will not influence what we as a membership finally accept, what we as a union finally accept. In fact, in the last meeting with our membership at our annual general meeting on the 20th of May, members made it very clear that they didn't want that particular solution.
Paul notes the pace at which negotiations have proceeded is unduly slow. However, he says, with the technicalities out of the way, the more pressing matters can now be addressed.
At this point in time, we have dealt with all the terms and conditions of the 2016 to 2019 agreement. So terms and conditions, by and large, have been settled. And so the most urgent consideration now is a salary increase. And so that we look at, and that we look to our members for guidance this afternoon. As far as we are concerned, this should have been settled a long time ago. And, I think if we don't reach an agreement soon, it may result in a position which might not be the best for the country. So it's in everybody's interest to find a reasonable solution to this matter.
Paul says the CSA's belief in democratic principles means their mandate is outlined by their membership, which he says will continue to be rallied for by the CSA. Reporting for Hot 7 News, I am Solange Alfred.
Thank you, Solange. The leadership and some shop stewards from the National Workers' Union, NWU, will be meeting with the government negotiating team next week. The purpose of the meeting is to commence and conclude industrial negotiations on behalf of daily paid, constituency councils, and non-established employees of government. It is expected that a general wage increase would be part of the conversation, along with fringe benefits and improvements in general working conditions. The NWU is of the opinion that equity, standardization, and job security must drive the conclusion of the negotiations. Prime Minister Alan Shastney has once again landed himself in hot water for publicly poking fun at the leader of the opposition, Philip J. Pierre, over his speech impediment. The PM made matters worse when he refused to retract his statements in the House of Assembly, so our Hot 7 team took to the streets to ask members of the public whether they think the PM's behavior is an unacceptable example to set by the leader of the nation. Here's what you had to see.
That is it. The Labour will throw blows at Flambeau and Flambeau will throw blows at Labour during a political meeting. That is the political game. And when it comes to bullying in the House of Parliament, I think both the UWP and the SLP, they need to be more disciplined. They need to set an example, for the youths out there, because that is the honourable house. And I think both sides need to be more disciplined.
As leaders of the country, in the House of Assembly or Parliament, where you will call it, they should be setting the example and not saying and doing the wrong things, knowing that, it's being picked up by camera, by media and other people watching it. They're supposed to set the example for the younger generation coming in. So, let's say both of them are wrong and they should act more mature than that.
Si vous n'y pouvez dire bagay avec ce house là, avec ou ka di en house avec do animal mai, ka coûter, ka ouais ça, ka coûter ça, ou ça bagay bon. Il bagay bon pour nous. Because si maman la attend ça ou ka di en house là, il pas bon.
The point is that the way Mr. Alan Shastney addressed the House, it wasn't pleasing me at all. And the whole public and the whole country see what Shastney do is not really pleasing people in this country at all. Because Shastney, let me tell you, Shastney is so international as a man who really educated. You're a very wise man. Even though you have a misunderstanding with Pierre, you mustn't dress the House like that, because Andy himself didn't like that in the House. So life is continue. It must continue. But I wasn't pleased with that. I wasn't happy about it, and I felt very, very, very sad in my heart.
It's nothing new actually, because right now it's something annually. Every year something must take place in that house. Either minister walk away and whatever and so on. But on the part of the Prime Minister, which is the leader of the country, he should lead by example, all right? Because if it was an ex-Prime Minister, everybody would have said he's arrogant. But when I look at it, this current Prime Minister is the most arrogant Prime Minister we ever have in this country, okay? Because if you have to make the speaker look so small, it wasn't good. It wasn't good at all. And beg pardon the person, anyway, yeah. He made the speaker look small because probably he was the one who employed the speaker. So right now I suppose he's taking advantage over what he did for the speaker. But generally speaking, it's not nice for our young generation growing up, and the current leaders of this country, start with the top one, which is the Prime Minister. It's not good.
Those were your views. You're watching the Hot 7 Nightly News. Still to come, the St. Lucia Fire Service is offering tips and advice to locals for the hurricane season. Representatives from Faces of Cancer St. Lucia talk sugar addiction and the havoc it's wreaking on the health of the nation. And St. Lucians are encouraged to donate blood and save a life as they join the world in celebrating World Blood Donor Day. That and more when we return.